Subscribe or bear the hatred of the Uchiha. Wake up to reality.
What is good, YouTube? It's your boy Sho back with another video, and today I'm continuing the anime RPG series where we just take an anime and try to break down the characters into certain roles. Now, honestly, when I made the first video, it was Naruto. I made the first video was Naruto, and it really didn't do that well. Nobody really watched it. But when I uploaded it and like cut it up into shorts, people went crazy for it. So I think I'm gonna do the same format here. I still want to drop the long form videos because maybe that'll draw you guys to the actual long form video. But we did Naruto last time, and you know, Naruto's party, like his main cast of characters, they're a little out of balance. You know what I'm saying? Like his main people really don't have like a lot of tanks and stuff, right? You got Sakura as a healer. But Bleach to me, like if Bleach was an RPG, they probably got one of the most balanced parties out of like a lot of anime. Like each member of Ichigo's core group naturally falls into a role. Low-key, like it was kind of designed for them. The more you think about it, the more you realize that their abilities, their fighting styles, and even their personalities kind of align perfectly with classic RPG archetypes. You know, you got Ichigo as like our, you know, melee DPS. You got Rukia. She's like a utility, like a range type mage type. That's what I put Shikamaru in the other video. She has a lot of strong freeze type abilities. Then you have Orihime, probably one of the most busted healers that ever existed, right? Uryu, who just screams ranged ability. Then you got Chad, who is basically the tank. He's the tank. A lot of the archetypes just kind of match up. And we'll do one bonus character at the end of the video. Now, although Ichigo's squad forms one of the most well-rounded RPG parties in anime, they got offense, you got defense, you got range, you got support, you got raw power. You break it down, it's definitely got a good balance between everything. Now, let's start. First, we're gonna start with the big man himself. We have Ichigo Kurosaki. If there's one thing every RPG needs, is that frontline, mainline hero. The guy that kind of dives into the danger first. There's no enemies to be shielded from if they're all dead. This, in essence, is Ichigo Kurosaki. This is his exact archetype. He doesn't really care about defense. He will constantly throw his body on the line, constantly get killed or hurt. I mean, he even got a hand through his chest. He rushes in head first. He's the essence of a melee DPS. Ichigo's entire journey kind of mirrors that of a main RPG protagonist. He starts as a basic character, no levels, no armor. Within only hours, he's thrown into a world of like hollows and spirits and captain. What's cool about him though is that his role really never changes. Even though he gets all these new powerful forms, Shikai, Bankai, Hollow, Quincy, his instinct is always to dive head first into whatever he's fighting. He doesn't really strategize, right? He doesn't really rely on his like tricks. He's just about, he's going to beat you. And a lot of times he's going to get beat, he's going to get hurt, but he's going to get back up and somehow clear the game, not knowing any of the mechanics. Okay, then we got Rukia. We'll move right into Rukia. So every RPG party needs somebody who doesn't just attack. They control the fight. This is like the utility DPS. Somebody that kind of sees the whole plan laid out and not just the enemy that's in front of them. And Rukia is like the utility DPS for the Bleach party. It's not necessarily her strategic thought that really gives her this role. It's her abilities. Her ice abilities don't rely on brute force or even her mastery. As you've seen in 1000 Year Blood War arc, she didn't really master it. It's just a crazy crowd control type power. Rukia represents the side of combat that's more about finesse. Her powers are beautiful to look at. She strikes at like the perfect moment, and then it allows her to beat enemies that are above herself. If she was in an RPG party, like if you had to select her as a character, she would probably be one of the most dangerous ones because she doesn't really just do damage, right? That's not really her role. She changes the entire fight. She's like the debuffer, you know what I'm saying? The person that can apply status effects. She slows the enemies down, you know, she freezes everybody. Her power is just really, really good. Even though we don't see it a lot during the original run of Bleach, she's also a really calm and collected member of Ichigo's party too. And that is something that just proves to be really great. Okay, so next we have Orihime. Now, I gotta say this. With Orihime, she might be the most busted in this whole entire party, if we just being honest. Like every RPG team needs somebody that can hold the line between life and death. She fights to protect. She would be known as like a specialty healer because in the world of Bleach, her powers are unlike any other healers in anime. She don't just heal wounds, she literally rejects things. She reverses damage, even rewriting reality. She's not a normal support class healer. She's like pay to win late game healer, right? Like she's that one that's like everybody's dead and her ult is to bring everybody back to life. Something crazy like that, right? She has literal god tier abilities. Even though she doesn't always use them to her fullest abilities, she does have cracked abilities. Her healing kind of restores stuff that's just beyond humanly possible. In reality though, her abilities just disrupt standard damage and standard death. She's built around survivability. She would prevent party wipes. She would revert lethal hits. She is broken. And if this was actually turned into RPG, she would probably be the most broken thing in the game, to be truthfully honest with you. Now, here's another easy one, right? Now, we're going to go to Uryu. Uryu's toolkit as a Quincy would easily make him a ranged DPS. I mean, he has like that sword, right, that he uses, and he can kind of fight up close, right? But his combat system really revolves around being a marksman and controlling everything from a distance, burst damage, and a little bit of resource management. Like he would really fit good into an RPG. His combat system revolves around energy conversion, turning that spiritual energy into like his bows and his arrows. He's basically like your basic range class. You know, he has all the abilities, right? He has speed moves that allow him to kind of close the distance or keep the distance. He has his bow, his infinite charge of really arrows, depending on where he's at. His main stats would probably be like attack speed, accuracy, and high crit. Because if you notice, a lot of his moves kind of rely on him like doing like a really big attack. It's a lot of attacks that kind of damage, kind of soften up the enemy a little bit, and then a nice flashy attack to finish the enemy. Low defense, even though he does have pretty good defense. His playstyle would rely on just straight precision, timing, constant moving to kind of maintain his space. He's not really like a supportive type archer or a hybrid. He's a pure marksman, and it's kind of useful in pretty much any situation because he's always calm, collected, and cool. All right, so now we got Chad. Now Chad is interesting, but Chad is obviously a tank, right? He's obviously a tank type class. Now Chad's attacks, I wanted to kind of name him out in the video, but his attack names are crazy. But his powers are basically really tank based. He's really bulky, he's really tanky. His Gigante and Diablo act as like two different skill trees, low-key. One defensive, one offensive. And if you played any RPGs, you know that tanks can actually do damage too. He has his right arm and his left arm. One that kind of gives him like that shield. He's able to block attacks. His other arm, which is allowed to like gather that energy and use it in a strike. But what makes him a tank though is what defines his playstyle is not really speed or aggression, it's sustainability. He outlasts his opponents. His main stats would be like HP and defense, obviously. His damage output would be light, but his tankiness, his survivability, his ability to endure at an all-time high. If this was a RPG team, he would probably be the backbone. He doesn't need flashy ultimate abilities or crazy mobility. His entire identity is about being unbroken. And that's what every great tank is known for. All right, so the bonus, I did mention there was going to be a bonus in this video. Now the bonus is going to be Kenpachi Zaraki. And I feel like I had to talk about him because if you guys ever want a Bleach 2 like version of this where I do more characters, you know, I think he just needs to be at least in the one in case nobody ever asks for a Bleach version of this again. He has to be in here. Because to me, he's probably one of my favorite characters to play with in a JRPG, really. If you were to translate Kenpachi's abilities or his personality to RPG, he would immediately classify as like a Berserker type character. Something that revolves around overwhelming power, little to no defense, and something that kind of rewards combat over time. Like a kind of ramp up style. The longer he fights, the stronger he becomes. Each strike kind of builds momentum, like he has incentive to kind of stay in the fight. The longer he fights, the stronger he becomes. Each strike that he gets builds momentum, but he's not a tank. He's a person that's taking the damage, but he's gaining high attack because he's taking the damage. And if you really want to throw some RPG logic in there, he does have like crazy aura. So like, you know, people see how strong he is, it kind of strips the defense down a little bit. Now, unlike most DPS classes, melee wise, they rely on combos or different weapons or whatever, or just flashy moves. For him, he's built on raw scaling. His class would have like the highest base stats, and you wouldn't really need to learn many combos with them. They would just be good out the box. every ability in his tree, which is to become stronger, just to do more damage. Now, of course, I'm talking about really part 1 Kenpachi. If I was to talk about 1000 Year Blood War arc, there would probably be differences in this list. So we're just gonna say part 1 Kenpachi. You know, he does end up doing something later that would kind of classify as him being something completely different. So with that being said, guys, thanks for being here. If you made it to the end of the video, appreciate you. Thanks for watching. Let me know what other anime you want me to do as RPG, and I'll definitely get to that. Drop me some suggestions down below, and I'll be happy to do those. With that being said, again, I'll see you guys next video.
やれやれだぜ。